Hello my friend, in this video we'll be doing a track-by-track breakdown of the creation of a remix of the song I Want to Thank You in a kind of tech house style or vibe. We'll be going over the vocals, drums, bass line, all the melodic instruments, and the application of effects and processing as well. In particular, you'll also learn how to use a reference track to kind of guide the process as you're creating a song. And I've been finding this is a really powerful way to make sure that your songs stand up against really high quality tracks, and it can also make things a whole lot easier as well. With that said, before we jump in, if you find you're having trouble finishing songs at all, I have a free download for you. It's called the 5-Step Song Finishing Workflow. It's a simple 5-step process that you can use to very quickly and efficiently finish songs very consistently. I've been doing this for the past while now, and I've been finishing songs every single week. And by kind of putting out more and more in this way, I've been noticing a huge increase in my quality. So I know that you'll find this very useful, and it's particularly if you're having trouble finishing songs or wish you could finish more songs, this will definitely help you out. There will be a link to that in the description below. But with that said, let's jump on into this video. All right. So today we're going to be working on a new edit, kind of like a darky tech house kind of vibe. And what I want to do in this session is kind of go over the track, how I built it up slowly, starting from this, using this tune here as a reference track. So this is the vibe we're going for. And now I'm going to go ahead and pause it. And let's go ahead and listen to the reference track, which was this song. Definitely a different vibe it turned out, but this is what I was using as a reference. So basically, I had this song playing, looped up, enabled and ready to go. And then what I did first was I was kind of listening to the vocal, and I had a vocal that I wanted to use in particular. And so that was this vocal right here. So I just would switch between this. And got the vocals lined up. First thing I did a little bit of processing on here, got rid of some lows, got rid of some highs, added a bit of shelving high as well at 9 kilohertz. A bit of compression to kind of just tame the signal a little bit, added in some sidechain, a little bit of saturation, a little tiny bit of width. And then I did come up with a couple of variations. I have a K clip at the end, clipper, just kind of capturing all the peaks. And I do have a couple of variations using this A1 trigger gate. This one. A cool like stutter house kind of thing. Looks a little like this. And then I have another one here that has like an echo that I just thought it really sounded cool. Use that for variations for other parts. So I'm going to turn off the vocal for now and just kind of go through the creation of the track. So the first thing that I did was, I guess what we can do is turn off everything and walk through how this was built up. So I started off with the kick. So I'll play the kick. And I was just listening to this against the reference. So just kind of picked a sound that I thought sounded pretty similar to it. Added a little bit of saturation, just a decibel. And then I did run it through a clipper over here. Just at 0, making sure nothing goes above 0. Pretty simple, nothing too crazy. Then the next thing I wanted to do was I added on some tops. So we'll add in the tops. So I had this loop here. Nothing too crazy. I'm not sure. Yeah, I did do a little bit of automating the volume of this particular clip, so there's a little bit more space to it as opposed to it just being a full-blown loop. In terms of the actual processing on this, just got rid of some lows, shoved out some of the highs, added some side chain, a little bit of width, and then I added this shaper box preset called stepped gated fades. So just a bunch of stuff to kind of nestle in more and make it like a little bit more unique. Then I added this additional top. And on this, the same kind of thing, got rid of some lows, shoved out some of the highs. Played with the transients a bit, so I added some more attack and a little bit of sidechain pumping, a little bit of width. and then just kind of listening to that against the actual reference track there. Then the next thing I believe I added in was the claps and snares, so we'll add that in. Claps are kind of the more high end, and the width, and the snares kind of the body in the middle. And then as I was bringing the volume and choosing the sounds, I just referenced against the clap there. The mine has a bit more body, but it's kind of felt as interesting, particularly with the vocal. If we throw that back on, just like how that sounded. So it started taking the first steps away from the original track. Then was the closed hi-hats. Let's go against the reference. And then also an open hi-hat, which is later in the song. And then just to round out the drums, I did want to add in this little bit of shaker percussion, but I think might be in the reference track as well, but I definitely liked it quite a bit. Then the next thing is adding in this bass line. So I added in this bass line. Oh, like let's add it in here. Kind of similar rolling kind of bass line, a little bit more complex, and definitely quite a bit louder as well. So this is a little bit look of the MIDI playing through, and main thing is it's the sub. Very cool subs. You can hear a preset from that channel, Scene to Stage, which is really awesome. There's a little bit of sidechain going on here. A lot of this is all deactivated, and then that same MIDI is routing through the in. So this bass subs is routing in to this channel, so I don't have to duplicate it. I have the pitch going down 24 semitones, and there's just kind of like bass guitar kind of sound with some of the lows rolled off, a little bit of the highs rolled off, some sidechain, some width added with wider, and just adding a little bit more of that mid bass, so it punches through a little bit more. A little distorted kind of sounding. So if we listen to this now against the reference, a little bit more intense, I would say, mine is. And also the bass is a little bit louder, so I probably want to play with that. I'll drop it just a bit, but I do like how it sounds. But that's kind of the idea there. And then I did add in the same kind of sound onto this Vital preset, 808TH, which is a preset I grabbed from a really cool channel called Be The Lick. Awesome, so I'll show you that one as well. Got some of the low end, so that way it's not kind of messing around with the subs. Added a bit more attack and got some things, so it's a little bit more like plucky and choppy. A little bit of sidechain, quite a bit of saturation, some width using wider, and then one of the biggest things is this kind of A1 trigger gate, which is really cool plugin. It's free, and it's just kind of doing kind of like a stutter house kind of sound. That's adding quite a bit of interest there. Then when listening to the reference, there's not too much in terms of like synths and stuff like that. So these kind of like vocal stabs and little things like that. But I wanted to get a little crazier, so I used Rave Generator, which is this cool plugin that basically just has a bunch of samples of like classic like house raves and stuff like that. So I just played through a bunch of the different stabs using this kind of pattern. Following along like that. Nothing too crazy here. It's panned a bit to the left, getting rid of the lows, a little bit of compression to kind of tighten up the dynamics so it's not as jumpy, a bit of sidechain, quite a bit of drive, and a bit of width. And then I kind of copied that pattern over, do kind of call and response. And when we add that in, it's on the right side and it's a little bit higher. And just from the natural, like changing the sample, there's a call and response since the first bit is like a bit quieter. So like you can hear the main one, and then the high end comes a bit more. So I like that. It was super simple, nothing too crazy there. Very similar processing, getting rid of some of the lows, some side chain, some width, and that's about it. And then all together with the vocal, it sounds something like this. Oh, the wrong thing. All together with the vocal, it sounds a little like this. That's pretty cool. And then what I did is I found 2 other vocal parts that we'll be able to use when we move into the arrangement stage. So I'll show those off. Cool. And then this part as well. Which is definitely heavily inspired by the Coulter Yoko track. But I think it's called Be Real, potentially. That one's awesome. That's definitely why I wanted to use this acapella. That's kind of a rundown of this track. Getting that core idea out. And this should be enough to take it to the arrange stage very quickly and get that track pretty much ready to go. Hello again, my friend. Hopefully you found that video useful. If you'd like to follow along yourself with the 5-step song finishing checklist, there will be a link in the description below where you can get access to that completely for free, and it's going to help you finish your songs a lot faster and better than ever before. If you found this video useful, like and subscribe and all that good stuff, but really the best thing I can do for you is hook you up with that free checklist, so make sure you check that one. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video, my friend. Have a good one.